Hi, this is John from Bear Bull Traders, and I want to discuss my best and worst trade for 12 July 2021. As always, if you could like this video, subscribe to the channel, or hit the alert bell, or all three, we really do appreciate that, so thank you. Worst trade today was on Tesla. This was a high day break trade where the high day was 677.34. Volume at entry was about 5 million shares, and the RVOL was 140%. Really not seeing a lot of great stocks for high day break trades this morning, and lately they've been harder to find. Like ones that really run well have been fewer lately. So that was on my mind, and I gotta say, I wasn't super excited about this trade, but it was setting up well enough to take a shot at it. The 1 minute volume was building nicely, I'd say. You can see it here, 4 volume bars stepping up, showing some increased interest in Tesla. But I'd really like to see 4 white steps here. 4 white volume bars corresponding to 4 white candles as the price punches up to the high day. Instead, we have kind of a pullback and a faster punch. The SPY was consolidating at the pre-market high after a bit of a run-up. The pre-market high is here. This is this magenta dotted line. You can see where the SPY ran up a bit, went green for the day. Here's the previous close, this black dotted line, and was consolidating and deciding if it was going to go further. And it did feel like it was going to break out through the pre-market high and maybe through yesterday's high, or excuse me, Friday's high, which is this green dotted line here. So if we could get that breakout to correspond with a breakout on Tesla, that would be nice as well. Took an entry at 677.40. That's a good entry given the high day, only missing it by 6 cents on a very expensive stock. Got a slight pop, but then a lot of sideways action. So this is what you don't want to see is the trade going kind of green, red, and not really going anywhere. A high day break should look like a high day break, and it should break 26 minutes after the open here. The candle you take it on, the next candle, maybe the third one is the one taken off. But you can see here, that's not what's happening. And I stayed in this trade perhaps a bit too long, but the thing was I only took about a 0.14 loss on this, so not a big loss at all. Because on Tesla I used big stops. My stop was down at 673.34, be $4 below my entry. And that's my fail-safe, got to get out stop for a whole 1 hour loss. And I don't often take full 1 hour losses. I will get out when the trade is not feeling right, and that was the case here. The best trade today I had was on GameStop. This is another high day break trade where the high day was 192.36. Low volume on this, and that was definitely a concern. Only 400,000 shares traded when I took this trade at 10:23 in the morning. So that's 53 minutes after the market opened. RVOL's 30%. Again, not seeing a lot of opportunities, so perhaps I'm being drawn into things that maybe aren't the best setups, but for a few reasons, this did look good. Again, the volume had me worried. The spread is not good on GameStop either, so you really got to consider that. You got to take a good look at the spread between the bid and the ask and decide if it's something that you can afford to trade. What I did see was a clear surge in volume toward the pre-market high. And I like taking breaks of pre-market highs. I think it's a great place to take a high day breakout from. And you can see this surging volume bar, which is higher than, well, I can't see all the way back in the morning, but it's higher than anything going back to about 9:45. So that's a significant amount of volume here on GameStop. So that's a really good sign. The SPY seemed to be neutral. It's kind of trending up a bit and maybe going sideways at the time of entry. But for GameStop, it's just not usually the kind of stock that really pays attention to what the overall market's doing. It still has quite a bit independent behavior these days. So no real concern with the SPY. Did get a late entry at 192.83 when the high day was 192.36. That's what's going to happen on surging volume. So kind of had to take that and run with it. So the problem was with this trade, the volume dropped off after my entry, and the price fell off with it. So I had about a $2 stop on this one, or I did have a $2 stop, so I would have been out at 190.36, about half my normal size for a stock of this price, and had to sit through what was about a 0.5 hour pullback until it got going, and it did. And what happened was this really nice volume started to come back into it. And these days, after I enter a high day break trade, I'm watching the volume as much as I'm watching the chart. In fact, probably watching the volume more. And I could see it falling off, and I could see my trade starting to fail, and then I could see the volume coming back in, and it's starting to recover. And I've really started to like the look of what was building up here. And once we got over the pre-market high, this thing really started to run. And I held because I'm only in this half size, so I need to let this trade run a bit. And I got my first partial exactly at 195. I was looking to get it near this $5 level of 195 and above Friday's high, which is this green dotted line. Actually, it could have gone a bit more if I played this a little bit better, but 195 is fine here. Then let it run a bit more, and I could feel a distinct pause around 197.50, kind of in that range. I really wanted to get closer to 198 and then maybe take the third one near 200. But the pause here was enough that I decided not to get greedy and take some off there. As you can see, I got pretty close to the top. And unfortunately, this sold right off and came back down. I really kind of felt like 200 was in the cards here, but it turned out not to be that way. So it's out at 193.10. So that's my best and worst for today. I hope you guys liked this video and this recap. Drop me a comment below and we can discuss it. Thanks so much. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.